The suitcase was sinking, not slowly, not gracefully, just sinking. Brown leather, bloated with water, disappearing into the dark green of Lake Juniper, like it had never existed at all. I watched it from my porch, sweet tea in my hand, 63 years of life behind me, and in that moment, standing there in the Georgia heat, I knew something was terribly, horribly wrong, because I'd seen who threw it in. My daughter-in-law, Sloane, the woman who buried my son 8 months ago. She didn't see me. She was too frantic, too desperate. She hurled that suitcase into the water like it was burning her hands. Then she ran, tires screaming, dust choking the air. Gone. And that's when I heard it, faint, muffled, coming from inside the bag, a sound no suitcase should ever make. I dropped my tea. The glass shattered on the wood. But I was already running. My name is Eleanor Whitlock. Everyone calls me Ellie. And what I pulled out of that lake changed everything. The water was colder than I expected. It soaked through my clothes, pulled at my legs. The mud at the bottom tried to suck me under. But I didn't stop. I grabbed the handle, pulled. The suitcase was impossibly heavy. My arms shook. My lungs burned. I yanked it toward the shore, dragging it through the reeds, onto the muddy bank. And then I heard it again. That sound. Weak, desperate. Please, God. I whispered, "Don't let it be what I think." My hands were shaking so hard I could barely grip the zipper. It was stuck, rusted, wet. I pulled once, twice. Come on. Come on, finally. It gave. I opened the lid. And my heart stopped. Inside, wrapped in a soaked powder blue blanket, was a baby. A newborn. Tiny. Still. Blue lips. Pale skin. Not moving. Oh my God. Oh my God, no. I lifted him out. He was so cold, so small. His head fit in the palm of my hand. His umbilical cord was tied off with twine. Not medical clamps. Twine. Like someone had done this at home. In secret. Alone. I pressed my ear to his chest. Silence. Nothing. Then, just barely, I felt it. Puff of air against my cheek. He was breathing. Barely. But breathing. I ran. Faster than I'd run in decades. My feet cut and bleeding on the rough path. Water streaming from my clothes. But I didn't feel the pain. Only terror. Only the desperate need to save this tiny life, trembling against my chest. I burst into my house. Grabbed the phone. Dialed 911. A baby! I screamed into the receiver. I found a baby in the lake. He's not breathing. He's cold. He's blue. Please, please send help. The operator's voice was calm. Too calm. Ma'am, I need you to place the baby on a flat surface. I swept everything off my kitchen table. Dishes crashed. Papers scattered. Nothing mattered. I laid him down, so small, so fragile, so still. Is he breathing? The operator asked. I leaned close, watched for the rise and fall of his chest. Yes, I whispered, barely. Okay, listen carefully. Dry him off. Wrap him in clean towels. Keep him warm. The ambulance is on the way. I did everything she said. My hands were clumsy, desperate. But I dried every inch of his tiny body. Wrapped him tight. Held him against my chest. And I sang. I don't know what I sang. Maybe the same songs I used to sing to Marcus when he was small. Maybe just sound, but I needed him to know he wasn't alone. That someone was holding him. That someone wanted him to live. The sirens tore through the silence, red, and white lights flooded my windows. 2 paramedics rushed in. A woman with dark hair, an older man with a gray beard. She took the baby from my arms. Severe hypothermia, she said to her partner. Possible aspiration. We need to move now. They worked fast. Oxygen mask, monitors, wires. Are you coming with us? The man asked. It wasn't really a question. I climbed into the ambulance, sank into the small side seat. Couldn't stop staring at that tiny body surrounded by all that equipment. How did you find him? The paramedic asked. In a suitcase, I said. In the lake. I saw someone throw it in. Her eyes met her partner's. Something passed between them. Concern, suspicion, pity. "Did you see who it was?" I opened my mouth, then closed it. Sloane, my daughter-in-law, Marcus's widow, the woman who cried at his funeral like her world had ended. How could I say that? How could I even believe it? "Yes," I finally said. "I saw who it was." The hospital became my world. White walls, plastic chairs, the smell of disinfectant, the baby. This tiny stranger was fighting for his life in the NICU, and I was fighting for answers. Detective Ava Johnson showed up 2 hours after we arrived. Dark eyes that looked right through lies. Questions that came from every angle. "Are you sure it was your daughter-in-law?" "Completely sure." "Why would she do something like that?" "I don't know." "Where is she now?" "I don't know." But then Ava showed me something that changed everything. A photograph. Sloane's car. In a supermarket parking lot. 30 minutes from the lake. Time-stamped 5:20 p.m. 10 minutes after I saw her at the lake. "Impossible," I whispered. "There has to be a mistake. Is there?" Ava leaned forward. "Ellie, I need you to be honest. What is your relationship with Sloane? Do you get along?" And there it was. The real question. Because we didn't get along. We never had. From the day Marcus introduced her, I knew something was wrong. She was too perfect. Too calculating. Too interested in the money Marcus earned as an engineer. "We're not close," I admitted. "Do you blame her for your son's death?" "The accident. That's what everyone called it." Marcus was driving home after dinner with Sloane. It was raining. The car skidded. Hit a tree. Marcus died instantly. Sloane walked away with scratches. It always seemed strange to me. It always seemed convenient. But I never had proof. Just a heartbroken mother looking for someone to blame. "I don't see what that has to do with the baby," I said. "It has everything to do with it. Because we can't locate Sloane. She's vanished. Her house is empty. Her phone is off. And you're the only person who claims to have seen her yesterday." Her words hit like ice water. She was accusing me. Not directly, but the insinuation was there. She thought I'd made it all up. That I'd found the baby some other way. That I was blaming Sloane out of vengeance. "I didn't lie," I said through clenched teeth. "I saw what I saw." "Then we need to find Sloane. Fast. Because if she's this baby's mother, he's in grave danger. And if she's not, we have an even bigger mystery on our hands." That night, alone in the waiting room, I made a decision. I wasn't leaving this baby. I couldn't. Because when I closed my eyes, all I saw was that fragile little body. That blue skin. That faint heartbeat against my chest. And I knew, deep in my soul, that no one else in the world would fight for him like I could. 2 days later, the doctor came with news that shattered my world. "We received the DNA results," he said. My heart stopped. "The baby is your grandson." The room spun. "That's impossible. Marcus died 8 months ago. There was no pregnancy, nothing." "The results are conclusive. He shares 25% of his DNA with you. He's definitively your biological grandson." Marcus's son? Marcus had a son. A son he never knew. A son someone tried to drown in a lake. Sloane was pregnant at the time of the accident. Detective Ava said. She conceived about a month before Marcus died. Which means she knew. Why didn't she tell anyone? That's what we need to find out. But there's more, Ellie. Ava pulled out another file. We re-examined your son's accident. They found evidence of tampering in the brakes. Someone sabotaged them. The word dropped like a bomb. Sabotage, murder. My son hadn't died in an accident. He'd been murdered. Sloane, I whispered. She's our primary suspect. But we need proof, and we need to find her. I walked to the window, looked out at the city lights. Normal life, normal people, while I was trapped in this nightmare. My son, I whispered against the glass. My baby, she killed him. No one responded. There was nothing to say. 6 weeks, that's how long it took to prove I was worthy. worthy of raising my own grandson. Background checks, psychological evaluations, home inspections, references, a 40-hour childcare course. As if I hadn't already raised a child to adulthood. The social worker. Marcy, read me the list with clinical detachment. You're 63 years old. You're not a certified foster parent. You have no legal relationship with the baby. And you're involved in an active criminal investigation. I didn't do anything wrong, I said. I saved his life, I know. But the system has protocols. Protocols. That word became my enemy. Meanwhile, my grandson, Marcus's son, was growing stronger in the NICU. The doctors called him a miracle. No baby who'd gone through what he had should be progressing so well, but I knew better. Wasn't just medicine, it was willpower. It was Marcus's spirit living in that tiny body, fighting, surviving, refusing to give up. I completed every requirement, jumped through every hoop, spent money I didn't have on cribs and changing tables and safety gates. And finally, the judge granted me temporary custody. Congratulations, Grandma, she said as the gavel fell. I named him Elijah, after my father, after the name Marcus once told me he'd chosen for his first son. The day I brought Elijah home, I thought it was over. I thought we were safe. I was wrong. 3 weeks later, my phone rang. Unknown number. Ellie, it's Sloan. My blood ran cold. Where are you? It doesn't matter. What matters is that I have something you want, and you have something I want. You have nothing I want. I have the truth about what really happened to Marcus, and you have my son, your son. You tried to drown him. It was a mistake, a moment of madness, but I'm better now. I want my baby back. Never. Then I'll come looking for him. I'm his biological mother. Legally, I have more rights than you. My word against yours. And I'm much younger, more credible, more sympathetic. She let that hang in the air. Bring the baby and the money to the old boathouse by the lake, tomorrow at midnight, alone. If I see any cops, I disappear. And eventually, I'll find a way to take Elijah from you anyway. The line went dead. I called Detective Ava immediately. Perfect, she said. This is exactly what we needed. We'll set a trap. You go to that meeting, but we'll be there, hidden, waiting. And when she shows up, we grab her. What if something goes wrong? It won't, trust me. I didn't sleep that night. I stayed awake watching Elijah, memorizing every detail of his face, just in case. The next night, I drove to the boathouse. Ava and her team were positioned in the shadows, snipers on the roofs, assault teams at every entrance. I was wearing a wire, recording everything. At midnight, I walked inside. Sloan, I called into the darkness. Close the door, her voice said from the shadows. I did. And then I saw her. You came, she said, almost surprised. You said you wanted to talk. I want answers. Why did you kill Marcus? Why did you try to kill Elijah? She laughed, that same cold sound. Why do you think, Ellie? Marcus was a romantic fool. He talked about love and family and the future. I wanted freedom. I wanted to travel, live, not be tied down to a house and a crying baby. Then why marry him? Because he was an engineer. He earned well. He had savings, life insurance. It was an investment. But then I got pregnant. That ruined everything. So you killed him. I hired someone to sabotage the brakes. $2,000. A bargain considering I made $200,000 from the insurance. She was confessing everything. Every word recorded. And the baby. An obstacle. Nothing more. I gave birth alone. No one knew I was pregnant. When he was born, I thought about abandoning him somewhere. But the lake seemed poetic. End everything where your little family tradition started. You failed. I saved him. Yes, annoying. But now I'm going to finish the job. Where is Elijah? I'm not giving him to you. Then I saw the gun. Small. Black. Pointed at my chest. Last chance. Where is my son? I pressed the panic button. 1, 2, 3 times. "You're never going to touch him," I said. Her finger moved to the trigger. I saw the flash, heard the shot, felt something hit my shoulder. Hot, burning. I fell. And then the boathouse exploded into motion. "Police! Drop the weapon!" Doors burst open. Blinding lights. Voices yelling. I saw Sloane surrounded. Guns pointed at her. For a second, I thought she'd force them to kill her. But she lowered the weapon, let it drop, raised her hands. 3 officers tackled her, pinned her down, handcuffed her. Ava ran to me, knelt by my side. "Ellie, stay with me." "I'm fine," I managed to say, even though the pain was unbearable. "You got her. Tell me you got her. We got her. It's over now." I closed my eyes. It was enough. It was finally over. Epilogue. The bullet grazed my shoulder. "Missed the bone. Lucky," the doctor said. "1 inch to the left and it would have been your heart." Sloane was arrested, charged with first-degree murder for Marcus, attempted homicide for Elijah, attempted homicide for me. The jury deliberated for 30 minutes. Guilty on all counts. Life in prison without parole. 2 months later, I stood before the judge again. "Miss Whitlock," she said, "I've reviewed all the reports from the last 6 months. Elijah is thriving in your care. He's healthy, happy, loved." My heart pounded. "Therefore, I'm granting full and permanent custody of Elijah to Eleanor Whitlock. Effective immediately." The gavel fell. He was mine. Officially, legally, forever. That was 5 years ago. Today, Elijah is 5 years old. Healthy, happy, full of life. He has Marcus's dark hair, Marcus's nose, Marcus's long fingers. When he smiles, I see my son. When he laughs, I hear the echo of all the joy this old house once knew. He calls me Nana, and every morning he runs into my room, jumps on my bed, throws his little arms around me. "Good morning, Nana." And in that moment, every single morning, all the pain is worth it. All the struggle, all the sacrifice, worth it. People call me a hero, but I don't feel like one. I just feel like a grandmother who did what any grandmother would do. Protect her grandson, at any cost. The real hero was Marcus, who saw through Sloane's charm, who changed his will to protect his unborn son, who was willing to fight for him. Marcus, who paid the ultimate price for his love. And the real miracle is Elijah, who survived against all odds, who fought for every breath, who brought light back to this house that was once dark with grief. As for me, I'm just the bridge between father and son, the guardian of their memories, the protector of their future. And you know what? It's enough. It's more than enough. Some people ask me if I regret it. Taking on a newborn at 63. I tell them the truth. Every single day is hard. My back aches. My joints hurt. I'm exhausted in ways I never was at 30. But every single night, when I tuck Elijah into bed, when I kiss his forehead and whisper, "I love you," when he wraps his little arms around my neck and whispers back, "Love you too, Nana," those are the moments that make life worth living. Because 8 months after burying my only child, I thought my life was over. I thought I had nothing left. No purpose. No future. No reason to keep going. But then I saw that suitcase sinking into Lake Juniper, and everything changed. I don't know how much time I have left. Maybe 10 years. Maybe 20. I probably won't see Elijah graduate college. I probably won't meet his children. But I'll see him grow. I'll watch him become the man his father would have been proud of, and when my time comes, when I finally close my eyes for the last time, I'll go in peace, because I kept my promise. Protected Marcus's son, gave Elijah the childhood he deserved. I turned tragedy into hope, darkness into light, and that's all any of us can do. Really, when life throws us into the deep end, when the water closes over our heads and we can't see the surface, we have a choice. We, can let ourselves sink, or we can fight. Our way back up, I chose to fight. For Marcus. for Elijah. For myself. And I'd do it again. Every single time. Because that's what love does. It makes you brave when you want to hide. It makes you strong when you want to break. It makes you run toward the lake instead of running away from it. My name is Eleanor Whitlock. I'm 68, years old now, and 5 years ago, I pulled a miracle out of Lake Juniper. His name is Elijah, and he's the reason I wake up every morning with hope in my heart.